Good morning, fathers of daughters. Welcome to Girl Dad YouTube channel. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is FMB Martin, and I am a girl dad of 4 adult daughters, 36, 30, 26, and 24. Welcome, fathers. All fathers are welcome, regardless of your ethnic group, background, and or culture. Bienvenidos, mi amigos, aquí. ¿Cómo te sientes? Hoy. Gracias. Okay, fathers of daughters, we are here today. We're back for another live stream, fathers. I welcome you all. And fathers, today's discussion, we're going to be having a discussion about our daughters need us, birth to 18 years of age. Let me repeat that, fathers. Our daughters need us, birth to 18 years of age. I have 3 incredible videos that I'm going to share with you, fathers of daughters. And the reason we need to talk about our daughter need us in their lives, birth to 18 years of age, is because we know as fathers, if we're not in our daughter's lives, birth to 18 years of age, a lot of bad things can happen to our baby girls. A lot of bad things can happen to our baby girls. So fathers, I just want to concentrate today and look at these videos so you can see for yourself what could happen to our baby girls if we are not in their lives, birth to 18 years of age. What that means is we need to graduate them from high school, because if they do not graduate from high school, there's a great possibility, a good possibility, our baby girls can end up on the pole. You know what pole I'm talking about, fathers? The gentleman's club pole, the strip club pole, that pole. That's the pole I'm talking about, fathers of daughters. You know, fathers, I have a very extensive background of 30 years of working with all kids from all socioeconomic groups, cultures, and their parents. I worked in the criminal justice system, fathers, for 20 years. I am a former state of Colorado juvenile probation officer, and I've been a certified paralegal since 1984. I was a paralegal in the United States Marine Corps, 1984 to 1988. And I worked 10 years in K-12 education. I'm a former teacher, restorative justice coordinator, and dean of students. So trust me, fathers, when I tell you, if we are not a part of our daughters' lives, birth to 18 years of age, the criminal justice system is waiting for them. It is, fathers. I've done several videos. Matter of fact, I have playlists that you can look at on my YouTube channel. And in those playlists, I have a playlist dedicated to our daughters in the criminal justice system, and have a playlist dedicated to our daughters in K-12 education. So feel free to check them out, fathers. Also, I am the self-published author of a book called Daddy's Girls. It's available at Amazon.com. You can get that through my YouTube channel. There's a link in the description. Okay, fathers? On this live stream, there's a link in the description. Also, all videos that I use today, fathers, they will be available for your use if you want to look at them after. All videos I use are fair use, fathers, okay? So, fathers, when I talk about our daughters need us in their lives, birth to 18 years of age, it's very simplistic. It's very simple. We have to be present. We have to be consistent, and we have to be available to our baby girls. You know, fathers, we're living in a world today where our baby girls are catching straight hell. Social media platforms, social media engineering, the internet. This is what it is, fathers. Gen Alpha girls are now 14 years of age. They are 14. They are in high school. Gen Alpha girls. Gen Z, the tail end of Gen Z girls. They're juniors and seniors in high school. They're getting out of high school. So we're in a totally new generation. Next year will be a new generation. I believe it's Gen Bravo. I believe it's Gen Bravo. You'd have to see that for yourself, but I believe it's Gen Bravo. They're next. So fathers, I want to focus on Gen Alpha girls because they're teenagers. and for the next 14 years. The babies that are born this year in 2024, in 14 years, they'll be the youngest of the Gen Alpha girls. So, parents, fathers of daughters, you need to be instrumental. You need to be consistent, like I said, and you need to be a part of your daughter's lives because fathers are 100% responsible for bringing protection and safety to our baby girls, keeping them protected, keeping them safe. That's 100% on us fathers, not their mothers. Their mothers are nurturers. We are the providers of protection and safety. So, fathers, what I want to do is I want to get into these videos. I want you to process these videos, fathers. Grow That YouTube channel is a great resource for fathers of daughters. Grow That. Feel free to subscribe, like, share any of my videos that you come across. Feel free to become a part of Grow That YouTube channel. Okay, today is my 78th live stream. I've been live streaming Fathers of Daughters since July of 2023. I've built my entire platform of Grow That YouTube channel organically. For me, there's no other way to do it. No other way to do it. I wouldn't have it any other way. It's been a great journey so far, and I'm looking forward to getting better as I do more live streams, as I do more videos. I'm totally comfortable in front of the camera, 100% comfortable, because this is what I know. This is what I get down. This is how I do it. So feel good about it, fathers. This is my way of giving back to all fathers because I'm at a totally different transition in my life. All of my daughters are dope women. They're amazing women. Love my girls. Have a great relationship with all of my baby girls. So this is my way of giving back to all fathers because I want to see all fathers succeed in building long-term, sustainable relationships with their baby girls. That's one of many of my goals at Grow That YouTube channel. Okay, my book, Daddy's Girls, I believe is the blueprint for helping fathers understand our sense of urgency that we must have in order to build long-term, sustainable, that's the key, fathers, sustainable relationships with our baby girls. Okay, fathers, so let's get into these videos. The first video, I've got 3. The first video, it's about 30 minutes long. Now, what I did with this first video is I went on TikTok, actually, and I did some research on TikTok and came away with some very interesting videos from TikTok. And you'll be able to see for yourself. But social media platforms, YouTube is a great source for tutorials. It's a great source for how-tos. Other social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram, for me, when I do research, it's amazing what people put on these platforms. It's amazing how people share their lives on these platforms. So I decided to do a little bit of research. Actually, I do a lot of research when I do the research to put together these live streams. And this first video, like I said, 30 minutes long. It's a variety of different women and some fathers, some men in there speaking about us needing to be a part of our daughters' lives, birth to 18, and what could happen if we're not. Okay, fathers, I welcome you. Let's get busy with these videos.
Raising daughters without their fathers being in their life is another hardship in itself. So my oldest daughter, her father was killed when I was pregnant with her. And so that's kind of different. And I promised my oldest daughter that I wouldn't come on here and like overshare. Like I have a lot of things that happen in my life that I could talk about, but if I'm going to talk about them, then I have to kind of get their permission um, to speak about things that concerns their life because I am on here promoting that I manage their brands and businesses. But my youngest daughter not having her father present, I think that as moms, my whole thing was I had my best friend. She told me talk to her because her dad wasn't in her life and I had my father in my life. Her dad wasn't in her life and she blamed herself at a young age. So because she blames herself at a young age, she told me to make sure I, because when my daughter was younger, I didn't know what she was feeling. I just noticed she really didn't see her dad that much. She would go over his mom's house, but she wouldn't see him that much. So I didn't really know what she was feeling. I never took it into account. And that was wrong of me. But I did have a talk with her, and because he wasn't as present, my youngest daughter would not, when she was around him, I don't think she was as receptive. And I think he felt that. So he used to think that I would like tell her bad things about him. And my whole thing with when you have daughters that fathers aren't around, you I don't do that because I'm not bashing nobody. My thing is I don't want my daughter to be unhappy. Her happiness come first, and I had to let him know that. Like, I don't give a fuck about you. Like, who are you? Know you? I don't care enough about you to make my daughter unhappy. I'm not going to do that. Her happiness means everything to me. So why would I talk bad about you to make her unhappy? So this has been an ongoing thing for forever, and some incidents happened recently. And my daughter, now that she's older, she's about to be 13. She get back to this. My daughter just called. She called from school in the morning. She called 3 times this week from boarding school. But yeah, incident happened, and I don't know. Is so I can't speak about it unless she wants me to speak about it. I'll consult with her. But my thing is, I don't I'm not going to make her unhappy. She had an incident with him, and as she's getting older, she's looking around, she's seeing all her best friends' fathers are actively in their life. They are like, picking them up from school. He's never picked her up from school, things like that. And because of that, now she's kind of like, switching. So it's like, um, I don't know. My whole thing is he thinks that I'm telling her that he's a bad parent. I'm not doing that because why would I do that? Like, I'm not going to make her unhappy. I'm just not covering for him any longer because now that she's older, she's starting to recognize, what's going on and what's not happening, or whatever the case may be. And I got her therapy. So her school she does go to boarding school, and they do have those type of services. That was the first thing I did when she found out she was unhappy with, him not being present. That's the first thing I did. Like, my best friend, I'm gonna be honest, she told me maybe she needs to speak to someone because she went through her whole life not really speaking to no one, and then it caused issues as she got older. So I took her advice. I called up to the school. They were so receptive. Not only did they get her counseling service every other week, they are going to also like let all her teachers know that if she's falling off from her work or something like that, then that could be the reason why, and so forth and so forth. So I think, us moms, of course, we be upset when the dad is not doing what he's supposed to do and so forth and so forth. But like, I never really talked bad about him around her that much, really, or gave her like a bad impression. And I asked her, I said, is it me? I was very clear about that. I said, I want to know that did I do anything to cause you to feel this way? And she said, absolutely not. No. I said, growing up, I never talked bad about him. She said, yes, you never talked bad about him, whatever, whatever, which I could have, you know what I mean? Because, yeah, I could have. So I had to sit with that, and I got her a therapist. So she's just trying to work through it. It's a whole story behind it, and like I said, I'll ask her because like I don't want to be the one to kind of get on here and like overshare or whatever. But I do think that it's healthy to kind of talk about things and give enlightenment to certain things because there are people that are going through the same thing as you, and to offer a different perspective is always good, but yeah, so I just wanted to say that just protect your daughters. Don't talk, just try not to talk bad about their dad. If you see that they are struggling with it, um you just, I guess, talk to them. And that's what I did with my daughter. And like I said, some things they're not going to tell you, especially when they become a teenager. So that's why I did get her the therapist, but I have been talking to her about it too as well. So yeah, I just wanted to get on here and say that. Also, I want to add that it's healthy to get it's better to get them therapy now, because growing up, once they get older, if they don't have, like, I don't have a man in my life, so right now, and I don't, and I haven't, and my daughter is about to be 13 and she's never seen a man in my house or anything like that. So I never had a man, really a real man influence around her. So I think that that's kind of not healthy as well, because I don't know how it's going to relate to her when she gets older and she starts dating and stuff. My oldest daughter is doing a great job with it, but my youngest daughter, I don't know. So I think getting them therapy too will help with their development. So when they start to like be in relationships with men.
Here's the problem women have when they grow up without a father figure, and they really feel it, is they'll always date a lot older men. So they'll be 17, 18 years old, and they're looking at the 30-year-old and the 35-year-old, and they're getting older and older, and there's a huge gap between them. Now, in my experience of working with women that go for these age gap relationships, is they are in survival mode without a father. They need that safety and comfort. And the conversations that we normally find really boring coming from our father about mortgage rates and, like, saving your money, they sexualize those conversations. So when they hear it from an older man, they're like, oh, no, he's so responsible. It's they're not used to it. So they end up initially going for that older man and falling in love. But once they feel safe and they've got the money and they've got the safety, they then look for men around their own age. They end up, it's almost like having a safe, secure base. Once you've got an older father figure in your life, then you go on to see what you're sexually attracted to. But until you've got that secure base, you're in survival mode. You're looking for who can make you feel safe, not who can make you feel who you're attracted to. So they confuse, they blur the lines between attraction and safety. And they end up looking for it in an older man, but then cheating on him with a younger man.
Hear sayings like, every little girl wants to marry her daddy, right? And I thought, what happens to the little girls who don't have their daddy? Who do they formulate in their mind that they want to marry? And I didn't have a reference for a father figure in my life. And so in my mind, I created this man that was perfect in all the ways that I needed him to be perfect. And in the ways that he was imperfect were things that I just had no experience with. And I married that person the first time around. I married my idea of a man based off the things that I knew. He was fly. He had some swag. He was a little rude like me. You know what I'm saying? We matched each other in wit and intelligence level, and we could spar together. But like things that I didn't know that I needed because I was void of them, like emotions, like caring, like protection, like somebody who just wanted to be there to support me because he loved me and he got nothing from that. Yeah, didn't get that and didn't know that I needed that until I was in a situation where I had to be vulnerable and I couldn't necessarily take care of everything and I needed somebody to come in and pick up the slack and I didn't have that.
Women who grew up without their father's emotional or physical presence will subconsciously attract men who are similar to her father or also emotionally unavailable, creating a belief within her that she is not worthy of love. But that's false. It all comes back to her attracting someone who was like her father in presence of what he was not able to give to her.
Even though I don't like see you physically like we doing now, I'm strolling through Instagram and then I see a picture of you. I'm like, oh, okay, she doing all right. I don't even have to communicate with her.
I'm your daughter.
most crucial takeaway that I got from that Dr. Cheyenne interview is that co-parenting fathers need to be more vigilant about being in their daughters' lives. And I say this because the daughters that stem from fathers that don't check up on them, are missing in action, and they don't have that interaction on a daily, maybe even every other day basis, I find the daughters to grow up to be impressed by unavailable men. They're impressed by them. They end up stalking those men. They end up wondering where those men are. They end up being in love with that type of man because the first man that they ever loved abandoned them. And they have normalized it by doing the investigation because they don't know where their father is. He hasn't checked in, he hasn't concerned himself with his daughter. So I say all this to say that it definitely starts with the father daughter relationship first. And this is why a lot of women are choosing the wrong man. And this is why a lot of women are sticking around with men that they have to wonder what they're doing.
This message is for the ladies who were raised without in their relationship with men and wondering why. Well, ladies, you were supposed to have your father in your home as a male role model. You were supposed to see your father and your mother show you what it means to be a husband and a wife to one another. Your father was supposed to show you true masculinity and male leadership. Your potential partners would have been vetted by your father to help you pick a right potential partner, and your father would have given you guidance on what to look for in a respectable man and what a respectable man looks for in a potential wife. But you didn't get any of that. It's also likely that your mother only talked to you negatively about men as a result of her failed relationship with your father. She only told you all of the bad things, and it's likely that you've been jaded as a result. You were told to never trust men. You were told to never rely on men. You were told to be hyper independent, that you can't count on anybody, to focus on yourself. And all of this stuff is subconscious baggage that you're carrying into your relationships with men. So what do you do about this, ladies? Well, the first step is acknowledging that you're operating from a place of having a void in understanding men, and you need to fix it. I highly recommend leaning on your male role models that you may have in your family, such as your older brothers, your uncles, cousins, maybe your grandparents, any males in your family that you may be able to trust and seek guidance from that you should have received from your father. I would highly recommend that as your first step. If not, luckily, we live in the information age where you can get thousands of hours of content on relationship advice from YouTube. I highly recommend Kevin Samuels as one of the best sources for women who were raised without their fathers. He's a controversial figure because he tells women what they need to hear, not what they want to hear, as your father would have done for you. He's very good at understanding what successful men want from women and helping women understand how to respect themselves and how to be seen as a potential wife to successful men. Jordan Peterson is a psychologist who understands family dynamics and the relationships between men and women very well. He has a daughter named Michaela Peterson who also talks about the same subjects. Patrick Bet-David is another great person to listen to on relationships, finance, and business. Between those four people, you can find hundreds of hours of content on this specific topic. And that will help you, ladies, understand men better so that you can head into your next relationship with a better chance of success once you are able to learn what men want from women and what you should truly want from men.
You and your father on your show. Why was it important to have him on there? I thought that was so.
Oh, because he was the first man that broke my heart.
That's good.
He was the first man. Your earthly father is supposed to be the first man in your life.
Yeah.
To show you, what it feels like to be loved by a man. And we have to understand, especially for my father's generation, they were getting married so early.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Women were having children at 15, 16 years old, and then expecting this 16, 17-year-old boy to commit and be a husband. You know what I mean? When his daddy, most of the time, wasn't even there. And then because they got hurt in that relationship, then, that's when the bitterness started, and men don't know how to act right, and daddy wasn't there, and he ain't gonna be there, he don't show. All of that starts, and I had to say, wow, my father had me when he was 24 years old. What was I doing at 24 years old? Was I making the right decisions?
That part.
Was I grown up? Had I lived enough life yet to bring a child into this world and then know how to be a proper parent to them?
Yep.
When I know my father didn't even know his father but for a year. A year before, my father met his father a year before he died. So he didn't know what a daddy looked like. So I felt like I have to give this person grace. My father was a boy when he had me. My mother was a little, a young girl. Now, people say women mature faster, but
you
they were kids when they got married.
Yep.
And they stayed married 11 years. They tried.
Longer than some of us adults that's in our 30s and 40s.
Exactly. So I felt like having that conversation would hopefully help to mend someone's heart or start.
This is what happens when you date a girl who doesn't have a strong father figure. Or just knowing her in general, this is what she's going to do. Number one, these women never had a man to validate them and tell them that they are loved. So they might go out seeking it from different men or from different relationships. They may constantly need validation within their relationship, or do you love me? Oh, you're not going to leave me. They might actually develop really strong attachment issues. So these are the type of people who will try to get you to leave them so they don't have to deal with the pain of you leaving. Number two, very rebellious. When you don't have a strong father figure in the house, the discipline can be a little bit less than what it's supposed to be. So the person may rebel against absolutely everything and anything because they want to feel they have a sense of control in their life because they never had this type of discipline and proper arranging of their lives because their father wasn't in the picture. Fathers truly are there to help lead their daughters along the path in which they should go. So when they don't have that, they're slightly reckless. And last but not least, my favorite is when you realize all of these things about yourself, although you didn't have a father figure in your life, you find a few. You start spending time with God. You start reading these books on how to become the best version of yourself, spending time with Jesus, growing, knowing that he's your father, and learning from there and growing and maturing.
I think anyone who has had an estranged parent, you go like, what's worse? Like them trying to come back when you're like, they finally show up back in your life when you're like starting to succeed, or them never coming back. And I think having, at some point had a good relationship with him, which I had buried, like I forgot how much I loved my dad because I was so angry. I think, there's always that deep subconscious hope that maybe one day we'll make amends and it'll be better.
I mean, that's the thing, you had that. You know what I mean? It's like you said, you compare father wasn't there, came back, all that stuff. But it is interesting to hear the full story and dynamic that you had that love for him. You felt like, you were his biggest fan, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And then for it to be, you get like a taste of it.
Yeah.
Hey, growing up without a father is hard. Those problems with trust and those times when you feel like you're missing something are real. But listen, healing doesn't come from pointing fingers. It comes from forgiveness. And if any dads are listening, it's never too late to fix things. Your presence and love are important. Understanding, compassion, and a desire to bridge a gap are the first steps towards healing. Your children need you.
All that shit is fatherlessness. You don't know what it feel like to be in the presence of a man that has some authority. How you gonna feel comfortable with this shit out in the world? This is why we end up struggling as young ladies trying to process and like feel comfortable around y'all. I feel like a nigga trying to control you. Feel like you're trying to tell me what to do. Feel like you're trying to use your money to do. It's a lot of shit we misperceive or we take it the wrong way because we don't know what it feel like to have a daddy that say, this is the decision as a man and ain't no woman coming and put her 2 cents on it, right? Then you only seeing how a woman solves and processes and run the household. This your programming. Now flip the same shit to a young boy. You 16, 17, fully grown in your build, but you only ever saw a woman run shit. You only ever saw your mama, decide how stuff gonna go in the household. And we nurture it. So a lot of times women don't even realize all that fussing, the way you handling your son, you fucking him up. And this is why it's a lot of niggas that they not gay. They heterosexual males. They are attracted to women, but they can't stand a fucking woman.
This is a message for the girls who are fatherless growing up, especially on Father's Day. You may not have been able to choose your father, but you were able to choose the father of your children. This is why it is so important who you choose to be your spouse, because it doesn't only affect you, it affects your future children and future generations. I didn't grow up without a father, but I was blessed with an amazing husband by the Lord. I am currently 28 weeks pregnant. We are expecting a baby girl, and knowing that he is going to be the father of my daughter is the most amazing thing, because I know he's going to provide, protect, and love our daughter unconditionally, which is something that I really wished I had growing up. But ladies, you have the choice to choose who the father of your kids are and not allow this generational cycle to continue. So I pray that you're able to find that spouse.
Men treat their children according to how they feel about the mother. When me and my ex-husband were together, he was an excellent father. The moment we separated, that changed. The moment a man is on child support, he is not the same father he used to be. I know you want to believe that I am just this bitter mama, but am I bitter because you can relate to the fact that you treat your children according to how you feel about their mother? There are also mothers that treat their children according to how they feel about the father, who don't know how to separate the fact that the child is their own person. Although they may share the same blood, your child is not you or the other parent. The most my children's father can do is ignore my children when they reach out. But thinking that you're going to treat my children any in which way you want to, according to how you feel about me at the moment, is crazy work. If we're getting along, he treats them like the White House kids. But when we're not getting along, he treats his stepchildren better than he treats mine. Do you think that fathers treat their children according to how they feel about the mother? And vice versa. Do you think that mothers treat their children according to how they feel about the father?
I think the only women who get lucky are the women who are raised by two parents who have good fathers who protected them when they were younger, and they're not as jaded as women who did not have a father growing up and were not protected, because you grow up in two different ways. So when you're sheltered and protected by your father, you're more feminine. You believe more in love, and now you're looking for a man who's similar to your dad. If you didn't have a dad, you're not looking for anything that's similar to you. You don't even know what the fuck you're looking for. You don't even know what you're supposed to be looking for because nobody told you. But when you have a good dad who works and is good to your mom and all this stuff, then you have an example of, oh, this guy is garbage. Why is he asking me to pay half the bill at fucking dinner?
Ladies, get on in here.
y'all can come on in too. Just sit in the back. Don't make too much noise. Stop denying these fathers their legal visitation time with their kids. Stop. And I am only talking to the people who have a court order in place. If you do not have a court order, it is a free-for-all. Do whatever it is you want to do. And if you don't have a court order and you don't like how things are being done, hire an attorney and get you one. For my ladies who do have a court order in place, let me tell you what happened in court today. Let me warn you again. So I had a hearing today. My client's spouse took all the money out of their joint bank account. Different story for another day. But we were there pretty early and there was another hearing going on. So the hearing was an enforcement. And like I've told you many times on this page, that an enforcement is a lawsuit that you file when someone is violating the court order. So if someone isn't paying you child support on time, you file an enforcement. If someone isn't letting you see your children, you file an enforcement. So at this particular hearing, the father had filed an enforcement because he was not able to see his kids because the mom had been withholding them. I've told y'all many a times, the videos are posted that one of the main punishments for an enforcement is jail time. The slammer, the clanker, clank, clank. You know what happened at the end of that hearing? She was sentenced to 10 days in jail. Mother's Day is Sunday. She will spend Mother's Day in jail. It ain't worth it. Let these men see their kids. It ain't worth it. If you have a real legal, valid reason for withholding your kids, then you have to do something about it. You have to file a modification, bring it to the court's attention, and ask them to modify that court order. Ask them to change visitation, maybe to no overnights, or maybe if it's really serious, supervised visits. But you can't just do nothing and just violate the court order. You have to do something, or this is what you'll be hearing outside of your front door and seeing blue and red lights. And you don't want that. Now, we all know someone who's guilty of it, so you share this information with someone who needs it. Now, I know it ain't none of my followers because my followers know how to behave. School's almost out. It's almost time for summer possession. Drop down in the comments and leave a little police siren if you plan on staying out of the clanker. All right? Y'all take it easy.
Girls who don't have a father will hit puberty on average at least a year earlier, which is substantially earlier. And that indicates a real biological impact of the lack of a masculine figure in the household, because that's a walloping physiological difference. We know that boys who have lack of father at the age of 12 have telomeres, so this is a genetic difference, that are on average something approximating 15% shorter, which means that all other things being equal, they're already doomed to a much shorter life. And so we don't know what the pervasive multi-generational consequences of the breakdown in familial structure in the final analysis are. I mean, it does appear that the Black population has fallen behind on the family integration and stability front since the early 1960s rather than making advances. And it doesn't look like that's good for anyone concerned, given the absolute wealth of data showing how pervasive a problem at every level fatherlessness happens to be.
When we talk about fatherless households, a lot of times we try to scapegoat the effects of that to men, as if a father not raising his children doesn't affect all of the children regardless of their gender. The reason I bring that up, if I have not had a man to show me how to refine whatever version of manhood we subscribe to in my house, then you also have not seen a man interact with your mother and respect her feelings. You have not ever, if you subscribe to traditional patriarchy relationship, then you've never yielded to the authority of a man. You've never practiced trusting the leadership and authority of a man. So you are just as clumsy as me for different reasons, right? And then thing two, to just take with you, Black men, if you hear, we need to start stepping into these laws.
Okay, fathers, you know, when I do my research, TikTok is so different than YouTube. You know, when I do my research for YouTube, and, you know, I'm specifically looking for examples, a lot of times coming from professionals that have raised children like myself. And because I want to make sure the information I provide to fathers is concrete. No foolishness, no nonsense. It's to help them. So, you know, this is the first time I'm on TikTok, but this is the first time I ever looked at TikTok as a resource. I think I'm going to continue to go back because I'm amazed at the amount of information people share amongst themselves about themselves. And, you know, as you can see in this 30-minute video, these are all clips of videos from individuals that have been uploaded and shared. So I don't care where the solution comes from. I don't care if you're black, white. I don't care if you're brown, red, or yellow. I don't care. I'm all about solutions. So if the solution makes sense, I'm going to use it. I'm going to reference it because I know professionally with my 30 years of experience, I can incorporate what is in social media to have fathers understand the sense of urgency that we have to have. I can incorporate social media and social media platforms because of my professional experience and my personal experience of raising 4 adult daughters. So, like I said, yeah, first time I went to TikTok, very interesting, as you can see, and I wanted to share that information with you. Okay, fathers, these next 2 videos I'm getting ready to share with you. They're talking about teen prostitution and what can happen to our daughters if they end up running away from home, if they don't live at home. They're going to be turned out by society. When I was a state juvenile probation officer in the state of Colorado, 90 to 95% of the little girls that I supervised on probation, they were runaway little girls. They were runaway little girls. They had a lot of issues. Most of them were placed in foster care or a group home. They didn't even live at home. They weren't with their parents. It was crazy. So I'm going to share these next 2 videos. They're each about, I think they're about 17 minutes apiece. But you need to see these videos. You need to see what's going on or what could happen to our baby girls if we fail them. Okay, fathers, let me get it set up.
Trophy.
Okay, fathers, video number 2.
All right, Trophy.
Yes,
Trophy, where did you grow up? Where are you from originally?
I am from Los Angeles, California.
South Central?
hmm
And tell me about your family growing up. You had mom and dad?
Yes,
How was your childhood?
my
How is your
childhood.
childhood?
My childhood was okay until I started growing up to being a kid and being able to move around myself.
And you were getting into trouble?
hmm
Where do you think that behavior came from?
I feel like it came from me just seeing and me just like I talked to boys on Instagram and then they did, you know.
So you were ready for boys at a very early age.
Yeah,
Right now you're how old?
13,
13. And when did you start working the streets like this?
10 years old.
10 years old.
hmm
And where do you think that behavior came from? Just because you matured very quickly?
Yeah.
There was no abuse or anything like that happened in your childhood?
Mm.
Nothing. You just grew up fast.
hmm
How did you get introduced to sex work?
Gangbanger.
Gangbanger / pimp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, wannabe pimp.
Yeah. I think they're all wannabe pimps.
Yeah.
They're all wannabe pimps. The relationship you had with your mom and dad, were they around
Well, my dad left me when I was 2 weeks old. And then my mom, she's there like half of the time, whenever she want to be.
So sometimes she's out doing what?
She's take care of my little brother and sister, of course, being her. But like me,
You get left behind?
yeah,
Were you always a troublemaker?
yeah,
Yeah,
in her eyes.
in her eyes. Do you feel loved at home?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. And 13, you're still in grade school, right?
Huh?
You're still in grade school?
School?
Are you going to school?
No.
When's the last time you went to school?
Last time I went to school was like, I'll say last year.
So 10 years old, you started working the streets. That's pretty damn young. What's the reaction of guys who are looking to pick up a girl when they see you and you're 10 years old? Even though you look pretty mature.
Mm-hmm.
I'll bet at 10 you probably looked a lot older than 10.
Mm-hmm. Well, it wasn't like I was telling them I was 10. They didn't know I was 10.
Well, I don't. What do you tell guys you are? You tell them you're 18?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you're 13.
Mm-hmm.
Have the cops ever stopped you?
Yeah.
And what did they do?
They had arrested me and took me inside the interrogation room and let me go.
Yeah, that's what I've heard with all the girls.
Mm-hmm.
They're really looking for the pimps, aren't they?
Yeah, they took my phone.
They always take your phone.
Yes, because
I
they
hear all
want
the girls get their
Mm-hmm.
get their phones stolen by the cops.
Yeah, just for look for a pimp.
And what do you think of this type of work?
I feel like it's pointless, but like at the same time, what can I say? I'm doing it.
Do you enjoy it?
No.
Do you enjoy the fast money?
Yeah.
Are you keeping the fast money, or is there some young man who's?
I'm keeping it.
You
It's not giving it away.
You're not giving it away.
Mm.
All right, so maybe you're smarter than most.
Mm-hmm.
How much money would you make in a night?
A night, a band or more. Like a dry night, I'll say like a band to 2,000.
Really? That's a lot of money for a 13-year-old or a 10-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
And so you had a pimp for a while.
I had a pimp for a year, and then he did some weird stuff, and then, yeah.
He did some weird stuff.
Mhm.
Meaning what?
Like, he had got another girl after I was the only one there for him, like when he was down and on the streets, yeah. And then that girl came around, then he started messing with her. Then I just got on.
Did you get like jealous of the other girl? Or?
Mm-mm. It wasn't no jealousy. It was just that I was there for you, and what did you doing now?
You wanted him to be, you wanted to be his only girl?
No, not saying that. It was like the girl wasn't doing nothing. Like she wasn't no hoe.
Oh, and she was living off of your.
Yeah.
Oh, you were making the money, and she was living off it. You were supporting the whole gang.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not right. So you've gone to school up until what grade?
I don't. 7th grade.
7th grade. Are you thinking of going back to school, or what do you think? What would you like to do? Do you want to stay doing this?
Yeah, I could finish school, but like it's gonna be homeschool. I'm not gonna go to real school.
And do you see going back home to your mom? You don't see that as an option?
Mm-mm.
So you're basically a runaway?
Yeah.
Yeah. You ran away at what age? 10?
Yeah.
You know, there are places they can go that you can go where they'll give you help.
Mm-hmm.
Have you gone to these places?
I looked at them. Mm-hmm.
And what did you think? It's not for you. Where do you sleep? Where do you stay?
The place that I lay my head. I can't say that.
Yeah, I'm not looking for an address or a name. I'm just like somebody's house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How did you first get introduced to this? I mean, did you know that there were women doing this kind of stuff?
Yeah, I knew that it was women doing it, and then, like I said, the game banker.
Yeah, but he kind of got you into it.
Mm-hmm.
What was your first reaction when this started happening?
I was scared to do it, and then it's like I kind of taught myself, cause it's like he ain't had no car or nothing. Like I was said, I was with him when he wasn't having no car or nothing. So he ain't have no car or nothing. So it's basically I was teaching myself, and yeah.
And you're not the only girl of this age out there. I've heard there's another 10-year-old, and I've heard there's other super young women out there.
Mm-hmm.
Are there things you want to do with your life? Do you have dreams of doing something different than this? What would you like to do?
It's a whole bunch of stuff I want to do, but it's like I just feel like I gotta get out of LA first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'd have a hard time. Maybe you would have, or maybe you wouldn't have a hard time doing this in other cities or states. There's probably guys that are looking for young women like this. Do any of your clients know that you're so young? They don't. Mentally, like emotionally, how do you feel about what you're doing?
Sometimes I be like, I'm tired of this shit. I don't want to do it no more. But then it's like, what the hell else is it to do? But it's like I started this for some reason, so something got to give out of it.
But what are you hoping to achieve by doing this?
Get rich.
Are you saving money?
Yes.
Where do you save your money?
I just put it up in a safe.
You have a safe somewhere? Just be careful.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows where that safe is.
Mm-hmm.
Are drugs a part of your life? Do you use drugs at all?
Only weed.
Just
That's
weed?
the only weed. That's the only drug you ever catch me doing.
That's probably good. I would keep it that way.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of guys pick you up?
I only date white chicks. It ain't no black.
Why is that?
Because I got kidnapped while I was on the blade, and he picked me up. Well, he was like, oh, he wanted a date, and then I'm like, it's $100. Well, it was $100. He only had a 50, so I'm like, you needed $100 more. So then he went to go get $100 more, and then he came. He took a long time, and I'm waiting on the dude that I said that he ain't had no car. I'm waiting on him. I'm like, I don't have no more condoms, so I'm waiting on him on the side of the street. And then the dude pull up, the black dude pull up, and then he's like, "Oh, I got the $100. I got the rest of the money." And he's like, "Oh, I'm like, you sure? Let me see." He's like, "Here, look." And I'm like, "Give it to me." And then he's like, "No, I'm not finna give it to you. You gotta get in the car first." I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna get in the car." I'm like, "All right, give me the money now. Give me the money now." He's still driving off. He's like, I'm gonna give you the money. I'm gonna give you the money. Wait. So then he drives to like 2-3 different rooms, hotel rooms or whatever. And he's like, oh, they ain't got this room, they ain't got this room. And then we got to Gardena, and then he pulled over to the side of the street. He like sucked my dick. And I'm like, where the condom? He like, and then I'm like, where the money? And then he like, no, you ain't, I ain't finna do no condom. My dick don't work with condoms. And I'm like, it's not happening. So then I kept on saying no, Then that's when he sucked me in my face. But my hand was on the door already because I already knew that he had a gun under the seat. He already had put that on my lap. So then I opened up as soon as he socked me, my hand was on the door. So I opened it immediately, fell to the floor, and then he was beating me to the floor or whatever. And then I finally pushed his fat ass off of me and then got away, ran to the gas station, and then they called they was like, do you want me to call the police or get you an Uber home? And home then was my mom's house. Like I was going back and forth from my mom's house to hotel rooms or to people's houses where I could go. So then I was like, Uber me home. So then I went to my mom's house, banging on her door at 3:00 in the morning, crying with black eyes, whole face bust out. And then she opened up the door. She was crying. Then we went to the hospital. Then, yeah.
And for that reason, you stay away from black guys?
Mm-hmm.
So the Mexicans and the white guys are safer?
Mm-hmm. Well, they're not safer because they've been trying to rob hoes too now.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
The whole lifestyle is just full of people that are trying to take and scam and con and all that.
Yeah.
What is the hardest part of this lifestyle for you?
I don't know.
Are you even interested in boys?
Yeah.
You are?
But it's like paying them. But yeah, I'm interested.
Yeah. I would really urge you to keep your money.
Mm-hmm.
And you're doing this for what reason? Just because you like the money, or?
Just because I like the money. It ain't no, I don't like the tricks, dicks, none of that.
Right. You're not into the sex. It's just fast money that you're making.
Yeah, I'll be quick to tell a trick. As soon as the money is in my hand, I'm able to say no. I don't want it.
Like I've said in a couple other interviews recently, if mowing lawns was a better hustle for you, you'd be pushing a lawnmower, right? But this happens to be the easiest way for you to make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any regrets or anything you wish you had done differently in your young life? Why do you think your mom is treating you like this?
Because I'm a hoe. And she tried to tell me to stop so many times, and I didn't stop.
So she was disapproving.
And she gave up.
She gave up on trying to get you to stop doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever stand back and just look at your life and realize how crazy it is?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty crazy behavior for a 13-year-old girl. Is there anything positive about this other than the money? Do you like sometimes it's like a fashion show out there on the streets.
Yeah, I like the outfits.
You like the outfits? You like looking, having all these men attracted to you?
Yeah.
I think the girls actually enjoy it. Do you have friends?
I don't do those.
You don't have friends?
No. Well, yeah, I got her, but anybody else?
Are you lonely?
Mm-mm.
No? How do you think your life has changed since you started doing this? You've been doing it for 3 years now.
Just
Are you more streetwise?
yeah, and having to deal with all the bullshit
Yeah, there's a lot of bullshit.
that comes with it.
Most of the tricks are high or drunk.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And Trophy, I'm sure your name is not Trophy. I'm sure your mom did not name you Trophy.
Mm-hmm.
Trophy, what would you say is the most important lesson you've learned in your life?
Just
in 13 years of life, what have you learned?
I really just seen who was there for me and who wasn't.
Do you have anybody on your side? Do you feel like there's anybody that you can trust?
Mm-mm. Not one person.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Wow. All right, Trophy, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Mm-hmm.
I wish you lots of luck.
Thank you for
Thank you
having
very
me
much.
here.
I had to jump out of a car.
You jumped out of a car and lost your toenail?
Yeah, right here, basically, and like all of this and my toenail. It was basically a second-degree burn from the concrete.
What made you jump out of a guy's car?
I was on Western, and I'm telling him to turn, and he doesn't want to turn. So my initial thought was I'm gonna jump out this car regardless of the fact, right? So he ends up turning to a street, and this street's kind of like a hill. That's when he's turning at the same time, that's when he takes out the gun and starts putting on my hair, telling me to throw my phone out the window. But I wasn't gonna do that. So I'm unlocking the car, like that car he had, I had that same car. So I knew where the lock button was, like, quick. I guess it was a stolen car because he had to put the gun down, turn, and lock it. But when he did that, I had already swung the door open and threw myself. So I kept rolling, and I couldn't stop myself from rolling because he started shooting at me. So I just kept rolling
Any
until
job
I
you're gonna get
stopped.
shot at is any job you're gonna get shot at is a job you need to
Yeah,
reconsider.
especially this one.
Yeah.
And so then, got back up, hit between two cars because I saw him coming back. There was a lady walking by, and she just gave me her sweater, and then I called my person to come pick me up, and
Crazy.
and then he ended up coming out like I want to say like a week or two after that, on one of those pages, like the girl pages, his mugshot came up. I was like, what? It's crazy, but they got your ass.
They caught him.
But yeah, they caught him, but I got lucky.
You did.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you grow up, Alondra?
South Los Angeles, South Central.
What was your family like?
Difficult.
In what ways?
Yeah. There's no really connections there.
You had mom and dad?
They're alive, but they're not in my life, you want to say.
Were they when you were a kid?
Somewhat. When they wanted to, basically. So basically, once it's like, I don't understand it, but once I turned 18, it's like, I want to be your parent. Where were you when I was 7? Where were you when I was 10? Like, where were you when I was going through puberty? What? But yeah.
Was your dad a big part of your childhood?
More him than my mom, I want to say. Yeah, because it was his family, the ones that took me in. So
But you never went to the foster system or anything like that?
the foster system, I went through it, but his family got me out quick.
Oh, I see.
Well, not quick, but they got me out since it was like nobody wanted me. But he was still, he had his issues at that time. So, yeah, he was able to just help them get me in a way.
Do you talk with your family now?
Sometimes. I'm a little mad at them right now, but yeah. And I talk with more my sister. I have another sister, and I talk with her more. Yeah, we have more of a, like, she was there more than, anybody. Like, she took care of me.
How far did you go to school?
I graduated.
You did?
Yeah, I graduated high school, graduated elementary, graduated middle school. No, yeah, it was insurance, but for like cars, motorcycles, a broker basically.
And how are you doing this now?
Circumstances,
What happened? How does an insurance agent go from doing that to this?
Basically, I got it. I mean, me and my mom never really had a good, like family. Never really had that connection. So it was like I've always been on my own. And when I started doing like the insurance, I was at home. But then when it was like the door's right there, no car, no nothing. So it was like, what am I going to do? So then, yeah.
How old are you now?
I'm 22.
22. So you started doing this just a couple years ago?
When I was like 19, I just turned 19.
Were you aware of it before?
Yeah, of course. I'm from the area.
So
I used to work at the McDonald's on Figueroa in Florence.
Oh, so you'd see the girls up and down Fig.
Yeah, and then girls from school that ended up doing that.
What is the reputation? I mean, what do girls like that are not doing that? Like high school girls, they look at that and they think, oh, these girls are making lots of money, or they think these girls are.
Well, some think like, okay, yeah, look, like they're making their money, like, oh, I want to try it. Some, right?
And it looks like a fashion show sometimes.
Yeah, but that's what some think, that it's not as
glamorous,
easy as they think it is, and as glamorous. Because with their good, there's always their bad, and with this, there's a little bit more of bad than good.
A lot of bad.
But then some are more judgmental, or just but it's more because they don't know of it. So they're like,
what do you think people don't understand about this line of work? This little subculture.
Basically, like the rules you want to say, or like why we do it, and like the incidents maybe type thing.
Why are you doing it?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm using it as a stepping stone.
Where do you want to be?
I want to either a teacher, but mainly like own businesses. But I want to try both. I don't know. I started thinking about being a teacher.
And this is giving you a temporary little bridge from
being
broke and where you might end up.
What do you mean?
Like if you want to become a teacher or a
I just want to use I'm using this to get to where I actually want to be in life.
But you've been doing it now for 2 years?
Well, yeah, but I kind of stopped and then came back. So I was off for like 6-8 months, maybe. Or like 5 to 6. Yeah, 6 months.
But are you
making
any progress towards
doing where I want to go?
Getting straight
to my goal?
A square life?
No, I'm not trying to do a square life. I'm trying, just use it as a stepping stone to live the lifestyle I want to live, actually. Before doing this, I wasn't able to go to school. I wasn't able to do everything I wanted. That's why I ended up doing the insurance, because it was easier. It's just a little course you got to do.
Are you saving money?
Yeah. Got to save the money.
You have a bank account?
No.
I used to do Google searches for my own name, and I was always really disturbed what I'd find. Seeing my personal information out there for anyone to grab, it's just uncomfortable. That's why I've started using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura not only shows me which data brokers are peddling my info, but also takes action by sending opt-out requests on my behalf. Data brokers are making a fortune by selling our personal information to anyone willing to pay for it. It's not just harmless information and marketing stuff. They're selling everything from your email, home address, to your health records, even details about your relatives. Cleaning up my digital footprint isn't just avoiding scam emails. It's about protecting myself from potential hackers who could exploit that information and wreak havoc on my life. From antivirus protection to VPN and password management, Aura's got it all covered. It's like having a digital security guard on duty 24/7. I'm too busy to deal with this stuff, but with Aura, I can go about my day knowing that my privacy is being safeguarded, leaving me free to focus on what really matters. So if you value your privacy as much as I do, go to aura.com/soft white underbelly to start your 14-day free trial. The link is in the video description box below. And now back to the video. So where are you?
Not a real bank account, but still a bank account. But I still save it in there.
You have a shoebox somewhere.
No, not a shoebox. If not, I use my sister's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Since she knows what I do, she just holds it for me.
It's nice to have someone you can trust.
Yeah, especially doing this.
Yeah.
It's not easy to trust, even in the real world.
Do you have a pimp?
No. But I do have someone that takes care of me.
A money manager? A money manager?
No. Just security, basically.
How much of your money do you give him?
Only like 200. Yeah, not really. It's more security wise than, like I've been knowing the person since I was younger, maybe like 13.
Yeah, you need security out there.
Yeah, we all do.
Have you had things happen to you?
Incidents. Not major, but still enough to be like, damn.
What's the bigger problem? The pimps and the gangs or the tricks?
I want to say the tricks. Just because the like pimps or whatever, they just sweat you more, like they just talk to you, like pop it at you. And then the tricks is like you're in either the car or the room with them, and they just flip out of nowhere sometimes, or that's their initial plan from the beginning. So it's like, because the pimp isn't going to smack you out of nowhere. The trick is.
And drugs are a part of your life?
No, I just smoke weed.
That's it.
Babe, yeah. No.
What's it like to get dressed, go out there, sell your ass on the street, and like all these strangers are coming up to you?
I mean,
what's going through a girl's head when you're about to do this?
I mean, when I'm getting ready, all I'm thinking about is positive, like
Money.
It's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good night. I'm going to get to my goal and everything's going to go smooth. I just try to keep it always positive and manifest it so it could go straight with me, because I don't want it to turn left out of nowhere or,
Is it ever enjoyable?
Enjoyable? Yeah. I could say it
when
is.
The money's going smoothly?
Yeah. But then, when it's slow, you start getting stressed out and being like, damn, what's going on? But, as long as I'm happy doing it, so I don't see, why I should be so negative about it.
Right. What do you think of the men that pick you up?
Like
are they married? Are they single?
Both. Divorced, or, are married or separated, or sometimes even like widowed, lost their partner.
But some of them are.
Or never had
cool?
A partner. Huh?
Some of them are cool?
Some, yeah. I speak Spanish fluently, so that kind of helps me too, where they're not so with me, but I try to always just keep it neutral, be respectful the same way,
Do you see men differently because of this?
No. Well, no, I'm not gonna lie, kind of.
You see all these men prowling around.
Because it's like, me personally, like right now with like, like right now in this moment, maybe in the future it will change my mindset, but who knows? But right now it's like, I wouldn't have a Mexican boyfriend, because in my head it's like, you're a trick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's just the way I think.
Because so many
of
of the
now.
guys on Fig are Mexican.
Well, the dates I do are either white, Mexican. I just don't do black tricks. So yeah, any other race but black.
And you're making good money?
Yeah.
You think you're addicted to this fast money?
Yeah, but I am aware of as fast as you make it is as fast as it goes. I am aware of that part, but yeah, I'm still doing it. I'm still here. I'm ready to go, That's the track.
Does it ever affect you emotionally?
No.
You're able to separate love from sex?
Yeah, because I know what I'm doing. I know I'm just here to give you the service, and that's that. I'm probably never even gonna see you after this again, but I still got my money. It ain't like other people that you know, they go drink with somebody, or they're at a club or party, or just texting, and then they never see each other, and
no
what you
feelings
get.
attached.
Huh?
There's no feelings attached.
Yeah, and it's like,
Do you ever get guys that develop feelings for you?
like tricks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've had some, but no
No chance.
I don't. No.
Especially once he's a trick.
Yeah, no, nothing. And even then, I'm not, you know, I don't want a boyfriend. I'm not square. Never even had a boyfriend.
You've never had a boyfriend?
No.
Wow. You're a beautiful girl.
Thank you.
You have no children?
No. I have a nephew, but that's about it. No children, no nothing.
Do you have any regrets? Do you regret doing this?
No, I don't. Because I feel like not that if I didn't do it, but it's like, who knows what my life would have been. So it's like, I'm okay. You know, I'm still here pushing through it, getting to where I want to get. So
Square jobs, or with the square job, it makes it hard to make ends meet.
yeah, because that too, it was like, in the insurance, people think, oh, insurance ain't just make bank. At the end, it's like the same thing. It's like the insurance company is your pimp, because you're giving all your commission up, you're giving all your money up. Let's say you make a sale, and you got the sale for $2,000. You're not even gonna get 1,000, not even the 5. You only get like 300 out of that commission. So it was like, what I get in 2 weeks, I'm making in a day. Ain't no 9 to 5 no more. But yeah, that's just how I see it. But then that's the addicted part.
The insurance company is your pimp.
Yeah.
When you work for a company, you're always
yeah, like Uncle Sam.
at the mercy. You don't have to pay taxes doing this. That's the nicest thing about this.
No, yeah. Up until
if you're making $1,000 a night
and you keep it all,
that adds up.
Do
you have friends?
Yeah. Friends, like in this or out?
Either one.
Kinda.
Acquaintances?
Acquaintances, yeah. I don't trust nobody.
Do you ever just stand back and look at your life and say, man, this is crazy that I'm doing this?
Yeah, I actually do.
Because it is.
Yeah. Because I mean, I'm from the area, so it's like when people from school be seeing me, they be like, what? You out here? Yeah, I'm out here. Well, like, what, you want to date? What? But no, you know, sometimes, yeah, but it do be crazy sometimes. But I don't regret it. So.
What is the hardest part of this lifestyle for you?
The hardest? Just the incidents, the bad, basically. But besides that, I like it.
The danger of getting a creep.
The danger, yeah, it's mainly just the dangers of it.
Your intuition's probably got to be.
Huh?
Your intuition must be good.
Mine?
Just doing this kind of work, you develop a sense of.
You develop a lot of things that you don't realize about. Even like you end up with peripheral, like see through the back of your head without even realizing it at a point. Yeah.
What advice would you give to a girl who's considering doing something like this?
I mean, if you want to do it, you gotta want it. Like you actually want to do it, not just because you see other people doing it or because it's a trend now. You know, you actually gotta want to do it and be prepared for every situation that's gonna come your way. Because it ain't gonna be easy, but it ain't gonna be too hard. As long as you know you got the proper instructions, proper you know, proper preparation prevents poor performance. So
and I'm sure a lot of these guys are making crazy requests.
The tricks? Yeah.
They get tricks, yeah.
Yeah, very crazy, yeah. But, you know, and also that too, as long as you do it safe, like very, very safe, you should be fine. I don't see why not, you know? Can knock it till you try it, but you can't enter and then turn around and run away, you know? It's like, why even try? That's just how I see it.
Alondra, what would you say is the most important lesson you've learned in your life?
In my life? Don't give up. Don't give up. Just keep going and going and going. Because at the end, it's always light at the end of the tunnel. Always light.
That's great. All right. Alondra, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yeah. Thank you.
I hope you make a lot of money tonight.
I do too. I am, though.
It's Friday night.
Yeah.
Okay, fathers. Our daughters need us, birth to 18 years of age. I needed to share both those videos so fathers could have a perspective on seeing how predators in the world are waiting for our daughters. You know, when I was the state juvenile probation officer, these are the little girls that I supervised on probation, runaways. They were victims. They had been victimized, and now most of these little girls are going to become victimizers. You know, the first young lady was 13 years of age, little black girl, 13, has been out selling her body on the street since she was 10. Is what she's telling us. Parents nowhere to be found. The second young lady's 22 years of age, Alondra. 20. Look how well she speaks. I can only imagine how she would have turned out had her dad been their birth to 18 years of age. She's very intelligent, smart as a whip. It's just crazy how women who have been victimized and had their entire humanity being taken advantage of by men, how they can keep a smile on their face because they're totally suppressing their feelings. You're looking at a broken young girl, the black girl, Trophy, and you're looking at a broken woman, Alondra. Their lives will never be the same. They'll never be the same because predators have taken advantage of that because their fathers failed them. See, I'm very hard on fathers. When I participate in men's groups and I push back on men and they try to talk shit to me and don't take accountability for their daughters, I have to remind them I raised 4 daughters myself. But besides that, I worked in the criminal justice system for 20 years. So what you don't get to do is you don't get to tell me what's coming. Fathers, you don't. I've seen it all. I've dealt with it all. And we sure as hell are not going to blame their mothers for the way our daughters turned out. You're looking at 2 young girls where protection and safety was never provided to them, ever, from their fathers. So this is how they end up, because the predators don't give a shit and are waiting for them. That's what it is, fathers. That's what it is. Okay, fathers. Another live stream. Had to share it. And you needed to see it with your own eyes. You need to hear their voices. These are baby girls. This could happen to your baby girl if you're not there, birth to 18 years of age. It can and it will. Okay, fathers, I live stream once a week. Appreciate you being here. Kiss them babies, love them babies. Show them you love them. Tell them you love them. Hug them. Keep them protected and safe, fathers and daughters, girl dads. Okay. Until next week, fathers. Mis amigos. Hasta la próxima semana. Paz. Adios. I'm out, fathers. I'll let you next week. Peace.